Good morning, everyone. It is December 31st, 2020. We are almost out of here. What was the saying? When you're going through hell,
I wasn't
keep
expecting
going.
that one. Was not expecting that one. We're almost out of here. Hasn't been all bad. There's been some good.
So we are right there on the
swallowed my coffee weird.
Meanwhile, I like how this was not planned. We each have the sweatshirt with the
Yeah.
You know, it was that or a tuxedo and a top hat. And given 2020, I thought casual indoor all the time might be a way to go for the last day of the year.
The new business casual is pajamas and a button-up shirt, you know.
I love it. My name is Todd Rich. I'm with Nadex. With me is Brian Caprice from Keep Trading Simple. Before Brian and I talk about some potential trade setups for the day and some hot spots in the market, I do need to share that trading involves risk. It may not be appropriate for everyone, that any trading decisions you make are solely your responsibility and at your own risk. And lastly, this is an educational session. Please do not construe anything Brian or I say as a buy or sell recommendation. We are doing this for your education purposes. So it's going to probably be a pretty slow day in the market. I imagine everyone's just excited to be getting a long weekend and celebrate the new year. Mm-hmm. I think we could talk a little bit briefly about Brexit because it's been signed, it's done. The pound has seen a little bit of strength. And then I think really we're going to look where things are moving, which interestingly enough is oil.
Mm-hmm. So from the oil claims yesterday.
So, and I know there was also some news this morning on unemployment. So there is some good news. But Brian, I'll flip it over to you to let me.
Yeah, we can kind of pick up where we left off. So yeah, we did see a little bit of pound strength in the overnight. Obviously, Brexit is fully signed. Again, that is certainly coming back into the market. And again, you're seeing the pound up. Interestingly enough, though, I mean, you're seeing the pound dollar here. And again, that is both a pound story and just like yesterday, a dollar story as well. You're seeing the dollar Swiss down, dollar CAD down, Aussie dollar up. Pound yen is up a little bit as well. 55. This euro pound though is a little bit misleading. You would say, oh, this is major pound strength, but it's a little bit of pound strength, but also again European weakness. There's been a couple stories for the Europe in general, but you're seeing actually the euro weakening versus the dollar. So again, the pound is obviously leading the charge across the board, but again, the big battle right now is really who is going to be the weakest currency right now. Again, we're seeing the dollar get beat up again, and there's obviously some articles today about, the FOMC voting changes slightly more dovish. Again, a little bit, it's kind of like, oh, we're seeing more weakness. And that's not necessarily great for the dollar, but then the euro is doing the same thing. So in the last 24 hours, the pound is up 46. It's, it's not a ton. The dollar CAD being down 55, a little bit of an oil story, but also kind of just what's going on in Canada. Aussie, I mentioned that I expected gold to go higher, even though it was kind of at the extreme ranges. On a purely technical basis, we would say, hey, this should roll over here, right? But I said it'd been up in this area way too many times. I would expect it to go higher. Again, not only with kind of recovery from China, but also with gold going in there and then dollar weakness. There's a lot of different factors stacked into that one. So again, that one is the biggest mover of the morning, up 60 pips in the last 24 hours. So news-wise today, we have seen the unemployment claims come in. So this is kind of, I would say, kind of a gift going into the kind of final economic news release day of the year. The forecast was supposed to come in at 832, and the actual number only came in at 787. So that's about 50,000 difference. That's a great, not 50, about 45, but great number to have. Less people are putting in for unemployment claims, particularly with the stimulus and everything else there coming out. It's a good sign, when the number is not as bad. Is it great that 780,000 people just put in first-time claims for unemployment? Not really, So although it was positive, it's not something we should necessarily celebrate. But again, it's good that it's not as bad as it could have been. Besides that, again, when we mentioned Brexit, we're talking about, Small Business Association extends COVID injury disaster loans, which is, again, they're kind of seeing the problems. Besides that, it's just, they're talking about, UK ports are preparing to close up as Brexit deal, finally arrives. And again, because there's that kind of rollover turnover period, it's going to be a weird few days for that to kind of go through and kind of work its way out. So, this is the last trading day of the week. As I mentioned, yesterday. Currencies are still open. Obviously, currencies change every single day, but it is obviously going to be extremely slow. Markets are shut down, and then we go into Saturday, and then again, things will open back Sunday in 2021. So just one thing I wanted to follow with from yesterday as well. We mentioned oil.
Oil's a good one.
Yeah. Oil. Here's what the actual release was. I'll pop this other one up. It's a little bit easier to see down here. I guess we could see it over there. But the forecast yesterday had mentioned that originally, earlier in the week, the forecast was at minus 1.7 million barrels. And they adjusted the forecast yesterday morning to -3. And we saw kind of a big shift. And I mentioned, and I joked about it. Like I said, I don't have any information about this, but I said, hey, typically when you see this bit of movement, it's almost like the data was leaked that somebody knew about it, right? Now they adjusted the forecast; the actual came in much, much worse, and you would see this and say -6.1 million barrels. It should have been a boom day for oil. Well, let me bring oil up real quick. I'll adjust it here. So right where I hope you guys can see where my cursor is, kind of right in this area, right? Right here, where this big red spike happened, is when we were talking yesterday. The oil inventory report did not come in till over here, where you see this spike. Here's the 1030 candle right here. So yesterday I said, hey, a lot of times you see in the UK, you see a lot of movement before oil, and what it is it's the market preparing for news, right? Because if you want to buy something, do you want to buy it high or do you want to buy it low? Well, we were sitting right here at the start of this candle when we started talking yesterday. Here's the U.S. Open. Here's the 915 candle. The first green one is the 930 candle. And what did we do? We drove right into an area of buyers. It drove all the way up. Here's where the news release came out. And again, what was the number? I can bring it back across. You can see that the number was negative. This should have been great for oil. But what did oil do? It did all the movement early, went all the way up. The oil inventory report came out. Bam, it tanked right back down again into that same level and went right back up again. So here's that 1 to 3 we drew. Here's the pre-market one. Here's the post-news release one. Both times it ended up going up to its 1 to 3. So again, always take these things with a grain of salt. A lot of times, and this is one of those things, I don't have a crystal ball. I don't know what's going to happen over here. There's not like a secret little thing that you guys can't see. But when you see this much movement, when no news is out, but some type of a big opportunity is coming out, you got to think, hey, why is this moving now? What could it be doing? And again, if you're expecting this to go long, which again, it did, right? It did. But it did it early, right? They drove price down. They bought it low. It came out. That great number came in. And you know what? Everybody that saw that -6.1 million was like, I should buy oil. It's so much lower. It's green. It's going to go up. And guess what? Everybody you were buying from was cashing out their profit from down here. Yep. So it's one of those things. And if you look where we are right now, we're really not much difference. Yesterday we were in this candle. Right now we're exactly here back at the 47.95-ish, 48 range. So in essence, in 24 hours, oil hasn't moved at all. We've had a quite a large miss in oil inventory. Again, trader down, trader up, trader down, and then we've done nothing since that time. So again, just kind of a little bit of a learning lesson of, again, what happens when you have no movement. And remember, we talked about these two levels. Had you done a sideways strategy, again, did it move? Did it change trajectory? Or is it still inside of basically the same little kind of sideways channel that we'd been talking about the entire week?
Yep.
So you guys can see how these things roll out.
And to tell you the truth, with nothing else going on today, I wouldn't expect a lot of swinging movements in oil at this point unless there was some sort of surprise.
Yeah, and those are the things you can't, I always joke around. The reason why I don't trade over the weekend is a joke, but the last 10, 15 years, it seems like when anything on a geopolitical spectrum happens, like, Russia sends, tanks into the adjacent country or something happens in the Middle East, it's always on a Saturday, right? When you can't trade it.
When you can't
so it's like they purposely do it on days that, you can't be in the markets. And I don't know, you would assume it'd be better on other days, but hey, let's go over the border on a Saturday. There's no way to plan a geopolitical event, and it's one of those things why risk is absolutely so important. And if I, if I leave you guys with just one thing that you can say that I learned this from watching Brian in the mornings was risk should always be your number one priority. And it's one of the reasons why I think Nadex has such great products is because your risk is predefined going into there's no surprises.
Right.
And that's how you have to be, trade. I see people out there all the time talking about, oh my God, I made all this money today. And then you ask them about how the next day went and they lost twice as much because they don't understand how to control risk.
Right.
And this is a perfect example. No movement. We controlled risk on both sides. We use risk to reward ratios. You pair money management in. And again, that's what trading is.
Yeah. Well, it's the pillow trade. Can you sleep at night with the risk that you've got on?
Yep.
I just quickly looking at the Nadex platform around oil, and it was just rather interesting how we were talking and going into that news announcement, we were saying, watch what's going to happen. And you called some levels where sellers have come in up above, and sure enough, I mean that report came out. It spiked up to that level. I wish I had the bar drawn on here, but it was literally right here. And then that opportunity, and it went through multiple. On the downside, it went through multiple binary trades.
Yeah, it was an 80-cent move, and I mean, really, 80-cent move in about 30 minutes. So
Yeah.
we had mentioned using some of those low duration or shorter duration binaries, and that's you do things like that, and that's where a lot of these things are a little bit easier to grab. Particularly in markets that are not moving as much as they typically do.
And so, I mean, there's a lesson in there, because it probably, because we're looking at it. It went through at least 3 different binary levels at that moment.
Here's the contract specifications for crude oil for binaries. You guys can see it right here.
Hold on, I gotta flip it over. There we go.
Yep. So if the strike width is 20 cents and we had an 80-cent move in 30 minutes, it moved 4 binary positions down in that fast of a period of time. Not much more to say about it. I mean, again, getting that much moving in that short of a period of time, and then the overall kind of end of day story was it really didn't move much. But going from here down, you blew through 4 binaries, and remember, this came all the way up to about 48.60. So most likely these were 60, 40, 20 all the way on the way down. And again, the short-term trade able to be done, and then you don't have to spend 12 hours looking at the screen for the rest of the day, guys.
Right. Today we've done some more education because there's not a lot going on in the markets. Brian,
it's rather slow right now,
and which is a perfect opportunity for me to tee this up. January 19th, it is live on the Nadex website. If you go on our learning section and you go into our webinars, you'll see it in an upcoming webinar, and you can actually register for it now. But we are doing. It's the 3rd week of January, so give everyone some time to settle into the new year. But it's a new year, new you, be a better trader. And we are going to be doing a day-long virtual event. It is free. You just need to register. We will record the entire day. It's 6 hours. We're starting off with basic technical analysis. We'll do some intermediate technical analysis. We'll talk about fundamental analysis. And then we're going to really get into trading itself. Once we built that foundation of some of those skills you need between technical analysis and fundamental analysis, the psychology of trading, which Brian will be doing.
Yep. Yeah, I'm literally, and again, if you guys ever hear me talk about why the market suddenly, I mean, basically, if you guys have ever been in a situation just kind of like oil, like we pointed out and talked to, if you've ever been in a position where you saw something that was absolutely great and you bought it and then it just completely dropped through the floor, like the market knew that you were getting into the trade, like it was literally going to cost you money, that's why you want to attend this and listen to at least the market psychology piece. I mean, I would say do all of it, but my piece is going to be why that keeps happening to you, or why you feel frustrated when you do everything you're supposed to do and then the trade goes exactly against you. Like, why is that happening? Those are the questions that I want to help you guys answer that day. So
that'll be fun, because that psychology of trading. I love that Yogi Berra quote. If you're not a baseball fan, but
90%
baseball,
mental, the other half is physical.
I love the math on that one. He was fantastic with words. So yes, please know that we've got that coming out on January 19th. You can register for that on the Nadex website. With that, I think the new year is coming up. In fact, it's coming up very close.
It's actually here for some people. If you want to switch over, I actually have.
Oh, there we
go.
Hold on, let me flip that over. That's
check
what I was.
I found this online. You can find anything online that you want these days, but check this out. So looks like Brisbane just had their New Year. So Australian from Brisbane, Happy New Year! And it looks like we have again 45 minutes from now we have Tokyo, Seoul coming online. Again, we have the rest of Australia, the Northern Territories in Australia, about to come online in 15 minutes. So, it's kind of like that joke about, it's 5 o'clock somewhere. Guess what? It's new today. It's New Year somewhere is how we're kind of ended out today. And then I think it comes all the way down. I think, I guess Hawaii is the last one. Hawaii and the islands, Baker Island out there, but the American Samoa. So So depending on where you are, guys, again, for me, have a happy, great New Year. Be safe. I know we are not going to do anything crazy tonight. My daughter, if you guys don't know, this is the big joke that she is the night owl. That she is going to be the one that's keeping my wife and I awake tonight. Yeah, it's just one of those things. But yeah, so we're looking forward to a new year and a lot of new fun stuff coming up for next year in 2021.
So, well, just some unsolicited advice. When my boys were young, uh, 5, 4, 5, we would do the countdown at 8 p.m. They had no idea. We'd make all sorts of noise, bang pots and pans, and go to
Yeah.
sleep before 9 or 10. It was,
She's a night owl. I'm telling you, last night at 11 o'clock, 11:30, she's like, "Daddy, belly hurt. I'm hungry." And she does the whining. So, I mean, she's only 2.5 years old. I'm in so much trouble when she's older. You want a horse? Yes, dear. What color? It's going to be. So anybody out there, if you have a horse for your daughter, let me know. I'm going to need one eventually. Ponies, unicorns, I'll take them all. Yeah.
All right. Well, I wanna wish everyone a happy, healthy, and prosperous new year. If you've got any questions for Nadex, we're here to help. Email us, customer service at nadex.com. Brian's around too. You can certainly email him as well. Support at keeptradingsimple.com. I know a lot of you have, and I know he likes engaging with you. So that's a great opportunity, great resource that's available to you. We really do want everyone to please stay safe, stay sane. 2020 is coming to an end. We've got a bright new future in 2021, along with a vaccine once they roll it out. They will get there. We will be back on Monday. Brian and I'll be back on Monday the 4th. Enjoy the holiday, enjoy the weekend, enjoy your families, and good luck in the markets, everyone. We will catch you in the new year.